In this time of great need, social distancing has become the norm, and I've found myself going for nice quiet drives while I still can. What better to go for a drive-in than a 2020 Range Rover Evoque? Last year, Range Rover introduced this all-new Evoque. The previous one sold incredibly well, came in several body styles, including a convertible. There's 6 models in the range, and there's several engines as well. There's a couple of hybrids, including a plug-in hybrid with 3 cylinders, a mild hybrid, plus there's a 4-cylinder, 183 kilowatt, 365 Newton meter Ingenium engine. And that's what this car has. There's a whole bunch of things that this car's got, and I'll put a full list of those in the written story. Plus, I've also included the online brochure. I think you'll find that kind of interesting. I like the new light treatment at the front. I think this looks absolutely smashing, especially at night. The grille, that's also new, and there are beautiful lines along the front, including a little arch over the wheels. It just is beautiful, coming along to a bit of black treatment that's here, just because it can be. And because I've got the keys secreted about my pocket, I can go to any one of the door handles, press the button, the handles pop out, the mirrors unfold, and I can put my hand in and open the door. Standard wheels on this car are 18-inch, but these have been upgraded to 20-inch. This particular car is $69,820, but with all of the accessories, that rises to $88,435. I'm just going to swing the camera around and show you where we are. The coastline is absolutely beautiful, and that's what's at the back, a sheer sandstone escarpment as far as the eye can see. On some of the cars, there's a kick to open tailgate where you kick the corner and the tailgate opens. In this case, it's just regular old automatic. The seats go down in a 40-40-20 split, but they don't fold completely flat because they're so plump. At first it looks like the space in here is really limited, but it's not. I've still managed, with the seat set for me, to have about 10 or 15 centimeters of space. And the interior has this beautiful diamond fabric. Now, some of the stuff that's in this car is recycled, and up to 85% of it can be recycled or recovered. Of course, we have a Meridian sound system. The interior generally is just absolutely beautiful. There's a 12-volt plug, some air vents. You can, if you want, option extra USB points for the back seats, and some tablet holders for the headrest so that you can put tablets on the back of the headrest for long trips. But the front seat is just truly delicious. I'll start the car in a minute and show you what happens. The whole thing is just black. Everything's black. The screens are black, the dash is black, and the console is black. But press the starter button, and because the key is in my pocket, I don't need to get it out, and watch what happens. The steering wheel comes to life, the dashboard comes to life with a little graphic, and the screen. This screen pops forward a little bit, and this one comes to life. Now this one you can use to control the car. Touch the screen, and now you can control this just like you do a touch phone. Down below where the vehicle functions are now, you can notice that there's fingerprints all over this. That would annoy me after a while, but there you go. The screen and the buttons change function depending on what you want to do with them. For example, push this, turn that down, and the seat controls come up, and that's how you control the seat heating and cooling. Please note, this car only has seat heating. Push it again, and it goes back to the air conditioning controls. You change that one for the fan control, and then there's a button like this for hill descent control. I think we'll just leave that off. The dashboard has some more of that delicious diamond pattern material, and all of the surfaces are soft and beautiful. There's a head-up display and a central display here, which is a multifunction display, full color, and can display any number of things, including safety, etc. These buttons change depending on the function. You can turn the cruise control here, adjust the distance, and turn the lane keeping assist on and off. The lane keeping functions can be changed in the menu system, which you scroll through like so. And you can program this for your favorites button. I've got my phone ready to go. I plug it in and the car will now bring up the option to play CarPlay. I'm going to tell it to remember for this device, press CarPlay, and it's now starting up CarPlay. Voila! So there's now Google Maps and so forth. If I want, I can put my phone down here in the little compartment underneath this screen. You'll notice there's a nice new pistol grip in place of the old dial that used to pop up. Thank goodness for that, because that was very confusing, to say the least. All right, the parking brake has turned itself off, and now we can just head off. Oh, the other thing is that the center armrest comes up in 2 bits, and that's really handy. Now, the other thing is that this car's just turned itself off because it's got stop start. I dislike stop start, so I'm going to go into the vehicle menu and turn the stop start off. This, by the way, is also where the terrain response controls are. So there's one with cactuses and a snowflake, one with arrows that look a little bit like pine trees, and one with actual cactuses. So I guess they're not cactuses. Now, I think this is what this car's made for. A weekend away, going down to the beach or whatever, and these gentle winding roads are just sublime. I've got my seat sitting very, very high because I like to sit very, very high. The thing is, at parking speed, the steering has absolutely no feel. It was very, very light, but at speeds, normal driving speeds like this, around town or whatever, you notice a little more resistance, though I wouldn't exactly say it has road feel. The thing you have to remember about all cars now, or most cars, is that they have electric power steering. And electric power steering is simulated. Everything about it is simulated. There's no such thing as road feel. I've got everything set to automatic. So at dusk, my headlights will come on and the high beam will turn individual LED cells on and off so that oncoming traffic isn't dazzled. Now, you probably can't hear it on the film, but this is so quiet. I'm doing 60 now, and honestly, this cabin is just, it's ghostly. It is so quiet. The 9-speed automatic replaces the old 8-speed automatic, which, frankly, although it was good, 9 is better. It's one more, so it's better. I'm very glad they didn't change the shape too much. I'm glad they didn't fiddle with it. They've just made it look now a little bit more like its big sister, the Velar. Hey Siri, take me home.
Getting directions to home.
Oh, so that's what I had to say. My home address has now come up on the screen and I can just press go. Oh, and it's now done it for me, in fact. So it's now going to take me home, and it's telling me that I've got an hour to get home and that it's approximately 68 kilometers. I think that's really neat. Now, the thing you've got to keep in mind is if you use CarPlay, the directions won't come up on the screen. So if you want to do that, then you might use your CarPlay, for example, for your music, and keep your car navigation for the details that you want to come up on the screen here and on the central display between the dials. One good thing is, with all of the cars having all-wheel drive, you do feel very safe. As you go into a corner, if the car senses that things have gone a little bit tits up, then it will brake the inner wheels to stop you from understeering. The ride is sensational. They've put standard springs in this and dampers, so there's none of that fancy active stuff that changes every 5.5 minutes. This, you know what it's going to be, and it's tuned to comfort. And that's just the way I like it. This is incredibly comfortable. In fact, I would go so far as to say, oh, my ears are really popping now. Crikey. I would go so far as to say, this is my new favourite car. If I had the money, I would get the top model with everything on it. I just tick all the boxes. I want the lot. I want the fancy lane monitoring and fancy foot control back door. I want it. I want it all. Don't forget to check the full specs that I've put in the link below. This is a really nice sweeping bend. The advisory speed is something ludicrous. I'm not quite sure when advisory speeds were created, but I'm sure it was when they had Model T Fords coming up this pass. And this pass is one of those things that's often closed. Oh, let me show you this while we're here. There we go. Nice. Now, although it doesn't open, the roof is nicely tinted and it lets a nice lot of daylight in. The cabin, because of the low roof, does feel very cozy and cosseted. In fact, it feels very homey. Now you can see that this thing's just going through bends. No complaints. The 20-inch wheels doing their job. Standard suspension, nice sticky tyres. You're probably not wanting to go too far off-road, but you can if you want to. You can see the instructions have come up here with my Google Maps activated. Nice. And what I will do is get to 110 kilometers an hour and activate my active cruise control, like so. And now we're at highway speed. We're doing 110 kilometers an hour, and this cabin is no noisier than it was at 60 kilometers an hour. And if I try and go just a little bit too close to the line, like so, it's steered me back in. Did you see that? Did you see that in the back camera? I'll do it again, although the people behind are going to think that I'm a bit drunk. Here we go, going over, going over, going over, and it steered me back into the lane. Now, most new cars have that feature, or should I say a lot of new cars have that feature. It's not unusual. Along with the active blind spot monitoring, if I go to change lanes and I turn my indicator on, that feature deactivates. If I have the blind spot monitoring turned on, and of course I do, and it sees someone in my blind spot, it will still try and put you back into the lane because it thinks you haven't seen something. Chances are you haven't. You can now wade into slightly deeper water too, though. As always, only wade into water that you know the depth of. And no matter what car you're in, don't wade into water that isn't almost completely still, because it takes very little to make you float away. For the piece de resistance, I tell you, on the rear fin where the aerial is of this car is a camera. And although it doesn't have the fancy invisible bonnet that I'm showing you now in this little film we prepared earlier, what it does have is this mirror. In this mode you can see that that's just a normal old mirror, but the rear view in this car really is appalling, and it looks like just a little postage stamp out the back window. But do you remember those the old manual mirrors that you had to pull backwards and forwards to go into night mode? Do that with this one. Look at that. It's a TV screen. That's just brilliant. It's just genius. And I can see much further there than I can back here. And the only thing is, of course, I've not tried it at night, so I don't know if it works at night. I suspect clever old Range Rover has got that under control. Pretty soon cars will be so smart that we won't even have to be in them. We can just send them out to get our stuff. You get bored,
send the car out for a drive.
Range Rover Evoque is full of beautiful touches. It is a clever car. It's gorgeous to look at, and the performance is amazing considering the size and weight of the car. As always, if you've liked the film, please feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget, hit subscribe just there. There, hold on, there, just hit there.